Figure it out. Sorry. I'm on that 90s tip, you guys. Anyways, welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Memorial Day, Monday, the 26th of Mayo, 2014. If you guys have never seen my channel before, I'm just going to warn you, what I am into is I'm into cultural issues. I explain to you, whether, I'm sure a lot of you already know, a lot of people these days are already woken up, especially if the things that you see in the culture are targeted toward you. The people who are given all the entitlement and the license to do whatever they want are the ones that are still living in ignorance. Unfortunately, that's illegal aliens to black people in this country. And not all black people. There are a lot of really good, educated black people out there. But there is a culture out there that is weaponized toward law-abiding citizens. And we could go into where this comes from and why and all that, but that's beside the issue right now. But I will tell you, Jesuits! Sorry, I have a cold. Now, actually, I just got over having the sniffles, if you will. But anyways, I have had an education in political science and history, and I can break down cultural issues like to the T, my friend. And I'm sure that there are better people out there, but, I mean, who's going to do it, right? I guess I got to, so. Because I'm not afraid of these, I'm not afraid of these people that are so manipulated by the culture that they are, those are the bug-eyed, bow-chested, that's what I call them, people that they are offended at any little thing you point out in society. So you got to stand up to these things. I have almost gained a opposite, like a reverse polarization from living in California, because the norm over here will drive you nuts, especially if you're from like the other side of the country. If you came to California and you saw the norm of how people are, you would get a reverse polarization, my friend, but it's hard to keep yourself from getting that because you're so opposed to the norm that you kind of like, you rebuke it, and you kind of, it's not that I isolate myself from people, because I go to church, I have a family, I have you know what I mean, I have a family that is in Christ, I have God, of course. These things are blessings to me. I don't know if I could cope if it wasn't for God. You know what I mean? Like, this all is crazy. When I woke up a couple of years ago, I was with my friend who I used to skateboard with. He was not a believer. I was. He admitted to me that I cannot do this anymore. I can't watch this stuff with you anymore. I don't want to know about this anymore. And it was taking a mental toll on him. So you guys out there, this isn't easy stuff to know, but you guys need to know that there is a greater sovereignty in this. God is in control. Regardless of all these tragedies going on, I would say that God's behind this in a way. He's using all of this for His purposes, and it sucks, you know, but it is what it is. We are in a fallen world, and we are a fallen creation, and that's hard to swallow for a lot of people out there that don't believe in God. You want to blame God, and you at the same time don't believe He exists. So I don't know what kind of logic that is, but hey. Anyways, let's go into this issue. I always go on these rants, my bad. Joe the Plumber pens letter to parents of the victims killed by idiot, Elliot Rodger. Yes, idiot is a good moniker for him. I'm not talking here about the 3 tragic murders Rodger committed by stabbing before his driving and shooting spree. I speak now only to the families of the gunshot victims in Santa Barbara. It's a tragedy. And it is. Nothing short of a tragedy. I am sorry you lost your child. I myself have a son and daughter, and the only thing I never want to go through, and the one thing I never want to go through, is what you are going through now. But, as harsh as this sounds, your dead kids don't trump my constitutional rights. Richard Martinez, whose son Christopher was among the murdered, choked back tears at a news conference blaming politicians the next day. The talk about gun rights, what about Chris's right to live? Martinez said, and much more. So I have to correct myself on my last video. I had thought that the guy that came out and was blaming the NRA was the father of this kid, but it's not. It's actually the father of a victim of this tragedy. But in my opinion, that's fishy as well. So sorry about the mix-up. Sorry about the, you know what I mean, the little confusion there I had for a second, because obviously this kid his name was Elliot Rodger, not Christopher Martinez, and his dad is I forgot who, something, I want to say Larry Rodger. Anyways, his dad is probably not that, but his dad's one of the producers and co-directors of The Hunger Games, that sick movie. Richard Martinez, whose son Christopher was among the murdered, choked back tears. I just read that. And there are no critical words for a grieving father. He can say whatever he wants and blame whoever he'd like. It's okay by me. You can't take a step in his shoes, at least I can't. But the words and images of Mr. Martinez blaming the proliferation of guns, lobbyists, politicians, etc., will be exploited by gun grab extremists, as are all tragedies involving gun violence and the mentally ill by the anti-Second Amendment left. As a father, husband, and a man, it is my responsibility to protect my family, and I will stand up for that right vehemently. Please believe me, as a father, I share your grief, and I will pray for you and your family, as I do whenever I hear about senseless tragedies such as this. So, Joe the Plumber has something to say here, you guys. He says, hey man, sucks. Sucks that your child was the victim of meaningless murder. But are we going to go the way of Armenia because of one punk kid that went on a shooting spree? Are we going to go the way of Nazi Germany because of one kid that wanted to go on a shooting spree? No, no. Because if we do that, if we do ban all guns and the cops or the military come and confiscate our guns, guess what? Who's going to protect the good people from these kind of people? Nobody is. Because these kind of people don't abide by the law. It's common sense. But I'll keep this video short. I just wanted to correct myself because I was confused about that one thing. It wasn't the father of this young man that did this, but it was the father of a victim of those who were in the crosshairs of a crazy madman. And you got to sympathize with the guy. He's hurt, man. He's in excruciating pain right now, and this is the kind of pain that the heart feels, man, is a lot worse than what the body feels. You can train your body to take extreme amounts of pain. Believe me, man, one of the most painful things for some reason to me is like going shin on shin when I'm fighting in MMA, because when you go shin on shin, man, I don't know if you've ever felt deep penetrating bone crunching pain in your life, but I have, and you can train mentally to go through that kind of pain physically, but the heart, the kind of pain that you get on the inside is excruciating sometimes, man. And nobody can pretend like they know what this feels like. He's probably just venting, you know what I mean? But it's a dangerous thing to start calling the NRA out and calling out gun owners and giving us guilt trips. You know, like, I'm not gonna get a guilt trip from what happened to your kid. But I'm sorry that happened, but you're not going to tell me that it's my fault, it's not the NRA's fault, and it's not anybody who owns a gun's fault. We simply are carrying a tradition of freedom and liberty. Our forefathers and our founding fathers were people who were probably never walked around on the street without a gun. You know what I mean? Like, those were their days. And to say that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is an outdated thing is a straight-up moronic thing. I am very schooled in the Constitution and Bill of Rights, Northwest Ordinance, all these things, man. You guys, the laws are never going to take away this type of mental illness in our culture, dude. Families need to start coming together. Families need to stop living in isolation because of their technology. They need to come together once in a while and talk to each other. This is probably why his father, that father of Ellie Roger, didn't know or take him. Well, he did actually. He called the cops a week before, but I guess maybe he didn't do enough, you know, to talk him out of it. But you know what I mean? The cops are not gonna, you know what I mean? This is one thing I have to say about people who are so quick to call the cops when you have domestic issues within your family. Like somebody's flipping out, and you think about calling the cops, you're calling the Roman soldiers on your own family. The cops and the laws are never going to protect you from this. You need to know how to deal with social issues in the culture and with your family, and not just jump to running to the cops. The cops are not the solution to your family problems, man. And to call the cops on your own family is a cowardly thing, man. You're running away from your problems. These are your responsibilities, not the police's responsibilities to take care of your family issues. And you know, I'm just going to end this video because I really don't have anything to add to my last video, except that I had to correct myself. That guy that was talking about gun confiscation is He's venting, man. He's hurt, but dangerous. You know that the Rahm Emanuel types are going to take advantage of this type of tragedy. So keep your eyes open to this development. This is a developing story. We don't really know what really happened, you guys. So let's keep our eyes open. Amen, right?